Matt Smith here with Family First Life, and I want to give you 5 different levels of growth and how you can repeat this process to try to drive up your success as quick as possible in business. It first starts with your learning. So knowledge overcomes fear and it puts action behind your business. The problem for most people is they only learn if they're in the middle of a crisis. It would be the equivalent of you putting something together and doing it without the directions, and then all of a sudden in the middle of you getting stuck, you get out the manual and you start from scratch. It's not the best way to learn. The next phase of learning that I would tell you is it's not important early to understand products, services, sales techniques, etc. It's more important to understand how the mental and emotional states of what we do is going to affect you. So the more specific you can get in regards to the questions that you ask your mentor, the better off that you're going to be. Let me give you some examples. So I would ask questions like, what do you love about this process when you first got started? What do you hate the most about this process when you first got started? What do you wish you would have known when you started that you know now? So the better questions that you ask, the better quality of life you'll have. And I promise you, you want to focus on emotional, mental questions first, because that's going to develop your grit early and it will force you to not quit, which is important. So then we get to the phase 2, which is experimenting. This is when we take what we've learned and we start to experiment with it. And this is where you can't judge yourself. This is where, you may find 10,000 ways to not do something, but that doesn't mean you failed. That's the old Thomas Edison way, right? So make sure that you're trying new things, because that will give you ultimate confidence. When you don't try new things, you're done experimenting and you're done growing. So you really need to make sure that you experiment, and the best way to do so is really create a domino effect. So get great at one thing at a time, but the quicker that you can move through that and experiment with multiple factors, the better off you'll be in business. Once you get done with learning and experimenting, you start to perform. This is when you figure out what you like. This is what you figure out what doesn't work, what does work. This is where you get into routines and habits, where you really start to have some success. This is where your confidence will grow. And this is where really you're starting to thrive. The problem is how successful you are in regards to performing will be dictated off how well you learn and experiment prior to that. Most people want to skip to the performing level, and I promise you that you'll fade out. And that's why most salespeople don't make it. They will literally try to skip to performing without learning and experimenting, without going through that process. You have to go through the process in order to be successful in sales. Number 4 is the struggle. Everybody tries to avoid the struggle. It's going to happen at every single level in business. Your job is to make sure you don't stay there too long. So, the things that you say to yourself are going to be important. Not to make sure your self-talk is right. Make sure that you understand struggle is a good thing, because that's where you're going to learn the most. Usually that's where you start to identify things that you need to change, that you need to evolve. It's always evolve or die in business. So this is important too. This is where you get a lot of feedback and where you can implement new ways and new strategies. The 5th level is thriving. And this is where everybody wants to be. This is where things are easy according to everyone. Now, the difference between people that are thriving, this is when you're getting awards. This is when you're being recognized for your achievements. It's usually only one night. It's only 1% of the time. Most people think that those that are thriving in business are actually celebrating all the time or being celebrated. That's not true. When you think they're being celebrated, they're actually outworking you. They're actually grinding it out. And the biggest scenario that you need to understand in this overall scenario is get through these levels. So understand what phase you're in, understand how you can get to that next level, and understand getting to the next level, you'll probably be the worst one at the next level, but you want to get to the next level. Most people don't understand that they're operating and maybe they're dominating 13-year-olds in business, for example. Well, you need to get out of middle school and at least get to high school. Then you need to get to high school to get to college. You need to get out of this management position to get to the upper management position. You need to get to this level to get to vice president. You need to get to board member. There's always a new level. You need to suck at that next level, and you need to make sure that you repeat this cycle. You repeat the cycle of learning, of experimenting, performing, going through those struggles, and then your business will start to thrive. Thanks for watching my video. I hope this helped. I'll talk to you guys soon.